morning, Asheboro City Schools. Whew, I'm actually trying to pretend that this room is empty. But it's not. And as I look out into this room, I see all of the educators, all of the people that help our students to be successful. I'm so very humble. It absolutely takes a village. I show up every day and do what now just comes natural to me without expecting anything in return. That being said, I'm honored to represent Asheboro City Schools as the 2023-24 Teacher of the Year. We go through life and oftentimes we're unaware of what others think of us. There are things that we don't want to hear or know, and there are things that make us smile and remind us that we're making a difference. These things make up the closets that we all have. If you were to ask me about my closet, I'd probably tell you something along the lines of shoes, dresses, cardigans, a purge pile, and more shoes. So whoever said diamonds are a girl's best friend, they lied. It's shoes for me. My Sam's family can see pieces of my closet that I don't easily see. If you were to ask them, they would tell you, or they told me, that my closet is filled with kindness, comfort, structure, grace, honesty, teamwork, compassion, and on most days, patience. There are components of teaching that come naturally, but a career in teaching is not created overnight. It takes time to build a teaching career, just like it takes time to fill a closet. Let me share my backstory so you'll understand how my closet was created and how I've become the teacher that stands before you today. I consider myself to be a Boro girl. I was raised in Murfreesboro, home of Chowan University. Moved to Greensboro for college, remained there to start my teaching career, and in 2019 I was able to add Asheboro to my list of boroughs when I joined the staff at South Asheboro Middle and became a Blue County. My mom knows best, okay? And my dad, he agrees, smart guy. My mom told me at a young age that I was going to become a teacher. I spent summers planning games and activities for my younger cousins who were visiting my grandparents for the summer. My role as the older cousin was to keep them safe and busy while making sure they had fun. I was the teacher and they were my students. That's how it all started. The reality is, I was determined to be anything but a teacher, and I was actually on track in college to become a veterinarian. However, that plan derailed in 1992. On lab day for my dairy production class, we were working with the vet at the farm. The vet gave each of us an extra long glove and told us that he wanted us to check the cows to see if they were carrying calves. Me being me, I asked the vet if I could use the machine to check my cow. And the vet responded, "No ma'am, you need to learn how to check without the machine." So I stood wondering, what have I gotten myself into? So for those of you that don't realize where this is going, I had to insert my arm into the rear end of that cow and to feel around to see if there was actually a calf. I quickly realized that the vet path wasn't for me. No, not my circus or my cows. I began to think, maybe my mom was actually right. Maybe I should become a teacher. So I went on to pursue my master's degree and began looking for a teaching position. So let's fast forward a bit to 2001. There were 0 agriculture teaching positions open in Guilford County. At this point, ag was right up there with those cows. Not happening. My course changed a bit more when I accepted an 8th grade science position at a high-impact Title I school in Greensboro. I was finding my way, setting expectations for the classroom, providing structure, adjusting my wardrobe so that I wouldn't look like my 8th grade students, and pulling some tools from my closet: compassion, kindness, and understanding. I was setting standards so my students could become their best selves. Now let's fast forward a bit more to 2004. This is when it hit me that students really do depend on us for structure, a nurturing and calm environment, and something other than just a worksheet. Life started happening, and the struggle became very real during my 3rd year teaching. My mom was finally in remission. My sister was having pregnancy complications, and I was diagnosed with cancer. I talked to my principal about my diagnosis, and it was suggested that I go on medical leave through the end of the school year. My response to that was, "You want me to leave my kids with a substitute for a few months? No thank you." I took just a few days off to have surgery and returned to school to find that my classroom had been turned upside down during my absence. As I settled back at school, I was grateful to reconnect to the normal part of my life. I greeted my students as they entered the room, and we jumped back into our routine, and they wanted to know where I've been. I didn't disclose that information, but we absolutely talked about all the notes left by the substitutes. I remember what the kids said just like it was yesterday. Those subs didn't say good morning or ask how we were doing. And we had those stupid worksheets. It seemed like they didn't care, so we didn't care what happened. Miss Jordan, why were you out? Don't leave us again with those subs. I remember laughing to myself and thinking, so you all didn't like getting to do what you wanted to do. You missed the structure. I had a light bulb moment. These students get to do what they want all the time at home. There's very little structure. Students desire structure. It helps them to thrive. My plan going forward was to be present at school, use the tools from my closet, continue to provide structure, hold my students accountable, all while kicking cancer. I'm sure they could look at me and tell that I was going through something. They would often ask, "Are you going to be okay?" And even when I wasn't sure, my response was always yes. My circumstances made me work harder to provide structure for them. They needed me to be their constant, and I wanted them to be successful. They had no clue that my closet was being filled with strength and resilience. Let's jump now to 2019, when I joined my Sam's family. My closet was full, and I was feeling prepared thanks to my previous 18 years. I knew that I was coming into a school or classroom that would remind me of my kids from my earlier years of teaching. I quickly realized that our ACS students also desire structure, and they want expectations. For most of our students, life at home can be unpredictable, and they become caretakers of siblings, and being a kid is placed on the back burner. Just like my students from 2004, our Asheboro students need stability and need to know that we're showing up for them. They desire positive relationships with people that they can trust and rely on. They want us to hold them accountable. As I prepared for my first year with ACS, I looked into my closet and pulled out structure, compassion, expectations, some hands-on activities, a ton of patience, dedication, and more. My first year in Asheboro was the year of the pandemic. With all of the unknowns that we faced in March of 2020, I still had to find a way to provide structure and build relationships. Regardless of where the students were, whether it was behind the screen or in class behind a mask, they still needed expectations. They still needed structure and even more compassion than ever. The pandemic wreaked havoc on the social and emotional well-being on our students, and the already wide achievement gap grew even wider. Our students are depending on us for structure and safety more now than ever. Even when life is happening, my SAM students know that we have a routine. We push through without allowing our circumstances to define us. We use what life hands us, we look for the positive pieces, and we try to be better. They are kids, but I remain transparent with them, and they know that we are all people with emotions and feelings. And together, we learn not to fuss over the little things. I strive to provide an environment in which we don't let the little things disrupt our hustle as we work towards the great things that lie ahead. We work together to create expectations, and we hold each other accountable. That's right, we, because sometimes they have to remind me to breathe and pause. Our students are preparing the closets that they don't even know that they have. They have ownership in deciding how they want the class to look and sound, and they hold each other accountable. Most students will not readily admit to this, but they appreciate structure and routines. Structure and routines help them to feel safe and comfortable, and it creates a desire to learn, and the outcomes show growth. Our students want to be engaged, they want to be heard, and they get excited about hands-on opportunities. They want to make real-life connections, and they absolutely want to feel that we care. These are the pieces that they will cherish and will leave a long-lasting impact. Speaking of long-lasting impact, Asheboro is actually reaping the rewards of my teaching from Greensboro. I thought I saw one of my former students back in May, and Tucker is in here somewhere. He didn't know that I was gonna kind of shout him out, but he did give me permission to share his email. I thought I saw Tucker back in May, and I wasn't totally sure until I received this email from him. Hi, Ms. Jordan. First, I would like to congratulate you on your much-earned Teacher of the Year Award for Asheboro City Schools. I am the Associate Director of Bands at Asheboro High School, and my students and I performed for the Evening of Excellence dinner this week. Think back about 14 years ago at Northern Guilford Middle School, around 2009. Believe it or not, I was in your first block science class. As a scared and timid sixth grader, I will always remember the warmth and comfort you provided to us. You probably don't recall this, but I was on my way into or having a bronchitis attack, not able to breathe, and I looked at you and you rushed me down to the office with concern, making sure I got the help that was needed. I'll never forget that. Not only your teaching style, but simply the smell of your room was so welcoming and easing. You made moving from 5th grade to 6th grade seem flawless. The other night, I was so proud to look at my students and say, hey, that was my teacher in 6th grade. The impact you made on me influences my students today, and I want to thank you for that. It's an honor to now call you not only my mentor, but a fellow colleague. I wish you all the best, Tucker Smith. Well, Tucker, you were once my student, and I am now beyond proud to call you my colleague. Awards and titles are added perks in education, but this is why we teach. Our ACS students want to experience the little things that make our classrooms memorable. A part of our job is to help them see the positive and to recognize that they can always be more and do more. Our students have so much potential building in their closets. We have to help them see that potential, boost their confidence, guide them towards success. As we prepare to begin another school year, take a look in your closets. As you pull out your favorite school shirt, or that beautiful dress, those comfy pants, or the shoes that make you feel like you can accomplish anything, add in some extra compassion. Grab some structure and kindness. Get that positivity and laughter that you have hiding in the back. Don't forget to grab some respect and hope. Find the strength that you didn't even know was there. Reach up high in your closet for dedication, some energy, find organization and determination. Grab an endless supply of creativity, patience, and more patience. Your closet is already stocked. Just pull out the things that you need so that you can be effective and build relationships that will allow your classroom to flourish so that our Asheboro City School students can soar. Thank you, Asheboro City Schools, for letting me represent you as your Teacher of the Year. I hope you guys have a great school year.